all rise here today. Gentlemen, take your hats off. Iron Swing Singers, one to go. Here we go. At this time, we're going to have a convocation done by our elder here, Mr. A.J. Felix, to come and give us a prayer. Then we'll go right into our flag song, our victory song, and then proper introduction to our dignitaries here this afternoon. So that being said, I ask you to keep standing in respect to our prayers to come with humility and love and understanding. With that, A.J. Felix.
Ahau aku makan tik. Mieke no te peituk te ane with kumiek ni seta peituk te ane. I want to be thankful this afternoon for the Creator for allowing us and allowing me to come and share on the celebration here today. 134 years ago, treaty was signed with this very First Nation and the Larange First Nation and the Peter Valentine First Nation. This is a great day, it's a wonderful day, and it's one of those days that our people celebrated, and we did this morning with a pipe ceremony. A pipe was at the altar, and also a Bible was at the altar. And the elders and the commissioners sat down and made a pledge to each other. 134 years ago, across the lake here, So I want to be thankful that I am here in 1989 when the first commemoration happened. Officially, it was across the lake. And I was there. And we did the pipe ceremony there. I want to say to the folks here in this reservation, you know that the chiefs that are marked in front of you here, I recall Chief Gilbert Bird asked for a traditional funeral. And we did a traditional funeral from the Prince Albert Grand Council. How traditional it was a pipe ceremony at his funeral, a feast, and drums at his funeral. This did not happen here in this community for many years. But Chief Gilbert Bird asked for that. Not so long after, Chief Alan Bird asked for that special funeral. And we did the same thing for Chief Alan Bird. These two chiefs, Gilbert and Alan, are my uncles. And I appreciate that privilege to come here again this morning to do that pipe ceremony. And we did it with the chief and council and many of the band members here this morning. I want to say to the Creator, Lord God, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. And we also thank you for being able to uphold the promise that we made 134 years ago. We promised that we would keep good governance, law, and order. We promised that. And we know, Lord God, that the promises that we made are for as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the rivers flow. That's forever. As long as we are alive, the treaty is here. That's what that statement says. As long as we're alive. As long as the sun shines and we don't freeze to death. As long as the grass grows so we don't starve to death. And as long as the rivers flow, so we lost at that time. But today, Lord God, I ask you in a very humble way that our partner that we signed treaty with will uphold his pledge to our people. That pledge was not entirely done. So with that, Lord God, we ask you to get our partner to start remembering the pledge his forefathers made. We do not need to be neglected as partners. We do not need to be poor as partners. We do not need to be forgotten when there's a sale of resources, because we are forgotten. Lord God, just like we are begging in our own land, that's how we feel. We have to fight, we have to go to court to see that our people are getting their very basic needs. Heavenly Father, Lord God, let it not be that way. So bless our leadership, and bless our people, our elders, in this adhesion to Treaty 6. Kitemagan na ungehte na kwatna ya sia minesa micheti ko segi ko mina micheti do shaina na gax and tragiska. You see us, Lord God, how pitiful we are in many ways. Many of our elders are sick, and many of our young people are addicted. That's how pitiful we are. So today, on this treaty day, we reminisce the day but we also seek an understanding of the very treaty that our people signed, the very promise that they made, and we want our partner, our treaty partner, not to renege on the promises that he made to our people. And this is still our land. Those fish and those animals are still our relations. They are. The ducks that fly are still our relations. The moose. Those are our relations according to the creation. Bless all those that are participating in this special day. And thank you to the Woodland Crees for making it official. Yes, adhesion to Treaty 6, 1889 is an official holiday for the Woodland Cree. Kinanaskawit now. Hi.
Thank you, Elder. This time we'll call back to Iron Swing. Appropriate song for that Eagle staff that represents our names, our people, our spiritual needs, as well as our community of Montreal Cree Nation. So on this historic day here, Thank you very much, Iron Swing. At this time, we are going to do one of the most favorable songs out here today. This song belongs to our people. That was gifted to our people from our vets in celebration and victory. Victory for our people. And today is a prime example as that. As our February 11th, 1889 treaty adhesion is what is considered our valuable victories here for all nations across Turtle Island. So at this time, victory song, Iron Swing. Let us all dance, my people, in your spot, how you feel, and how. At this time, we're going to start calling everyone up, and as I call their name, just come on over to my left side here, stand, and we'll probably introduce you in a good way, in a loving way, the most respectful way, the way it is intended. And this is how, the best way that we teach our young people, so that way in the future, when they are up here celebrating this very wonderful day, this important day, a historic day for Montreal Cree Nation. That being said, let us call upon Eagle Staff Carrier, Sturgeon Lake, First Nation, Cree Nation, Justin Kiane Tahoe. Hey. Oh my God, it's not Flag Carrier, Canada Flag, Jamie Vandell, Little Red River Reserve Bushman. Territory here is our visitor. Married into Little Red, of course, you know what? Yeah. Thank you very much, Jamie. Gregory Natao, Treaty Flag, Montreal Lake students. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Dustin Henny, Montreal Lake Flag, Montreal Lake students. Dylan Peters, Horsky, Treaty Adhesion Flag, Montreal Lake students. At this time, we want to call the leader of our community, Chief Joyce McLeod, our PBCN Chief, Chief Karen Bird, our Lac La Ronge Chief, and of course my very good friend, of course, Tammy Cook Searson. Man, you ever have one of those days where you're like, what's up with that? She's looking at me, I'm dead beat, that's for sure. Good to see you, my friend. Alright, yeah, sometimes they show up unannounced and all of a sudden they're here, so they're gotta be on the list. But we should always respect our neighboring communities, our loving communities, and of course, Chief Tammy Cook Searson always greets us in a good way, in a loving way. And we like to have lots of good laughs with that for sure. This one's in the books, eh, my friend? Oh, yeah. All right, Counselor Carol Naitaha. The Vice Chief of Montreal Cree Nation, Dean Henderson. Urban Counselor Eldon Henderson. Senator of Montreal and THC of SIN, Nolan Henderson. PAGC Vice Chief Tasani. Hey, yeah. Chief of the FSIN, Bobby Cameron. Grand Chief of the Prince Albert Grand Council, Brian Hardlot. Hey. Treaty Commissioner, Culbertson Mary Culbertson. Hey, we love her for sure. She's here to honor us in a good way, yeah. Our MLA for the Churchill District, Doyle Vermette. RCP Corporal, Constable Lorette. Our IS Representative, Rob Harvey. Elder and also traditional dancer, Eliza Bird. Jingle dress dancer, Madison Guthier. Jingle dress dancer, Danielin Naitaho. Fancy dancer, Mercedes Naitaho. Fancy dancer, Taylor Naitaho. Senior adult, Brittany Moore and Fancy Soul dancer. All right. That is awesome. We're all here, all accounted for. At this time, we're going to get our dignitaries to come and sit down in the back here. We'll get you guys there. We'll probably call you up. Everyone else is excused. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, there, gentlemen. You guys are excused. Yeah. Chief of Council, our dignitaries will get you to come sit back over here. Yeah. And you people that are sitting back there, will get you to move down. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Hey, Tammy, we're going to need you out here for a bit. We've got a box of ladders for 36 to give out, so if you can help us out in the way, yeah, for sure. Let's give it a round of applause for Iron Swing Singers. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Give you guys a few moments to have a seat here.
Keep in mind everything is a bit hurt. Huh? Everything is hurt here.
So we have just want to thank you as the audience for being here witnessing this historic day for a Montreal Lake Trinity Six adhesion. If you notice against the walls here, for your first time here, these are all our chiefs that have represented our community since the beginning of February 1889. The first chief was Chief William Charles, who paved the way for our people. And we have overcome many obstacles. That being said, we continue to conquer them each and every day. Right up to this very day, where I get to introduce you to our chief. Not only our chief, but it's a grandmother, it's a mother. And our very first female chief for our Cree nation. So it is an honor to introduce Chief Joyce McLeod. That, here we go.
Good afternoon. We're announcement now. We will keep the announcement now for all these dignitaries and on this special day. First of all, I want to thank the Creator for putting us on, for giving us this day, this beautiful day. And also I want to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory called the Woodland Cree. And I also want to say that the Woodland Cree in 134 years, 132 years, we have 3 women chiefs in our territory with us, all female. Also want to say that when we talk about the Woodland Cree, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be part of Woodland Cree because the Woodland Cree is associated with the students. When we go to summer games, when we go to winter games, it's the Woodland Cree that take most of the medals. So I acknowledge the students for showing your leadership in our representing our territory and our homes. Also want to say Dinnigan for the pipe ceremony. Dinnigan to our elder, Alan Joe Felix, and his wife for this morning. What an awesome way to start, to start off the day. Start it off with a pipe ceremony. So it was good that we were all gathered here this morning. A lot of new faces coming in. I want to acknowledge the visitors and also the cooks. It takes a community to do something like that. This takes a lot of planning. I want to acknowledge Roger Uncle, who put up a team, my council. We all sitting together. Thank you, Uncle. As a band member, who's always has us on our toes, planning. And that's what we do. That's what we do as a community. We sit together and we plan. We get ourselves a coordinator, and it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of money to plan something like that. I also want to say thank the cooks. the men that went out hunting, they killed 4 moose and 2 elk. Just so we can have a traditional supper. And the traditional supper last night was great. We had a lot of people that came here to eat, even people from urban, from the cities. And our relations. I want to say, dedicate to the drum group. These are our relations that are not with us today. But first and foremost, you know, the treaties were signed in Montreal. You can imagine how it was at that time in 1889 as compared to today. How we're blessed with good weather today. And also last night too, I asked for we're here on this earth because of our parents and our grandfathers and our ancestors. But we must also not forget the leaders, the past leaders that fought for our land. Some of them that went out. Let us not forget about the past leaders that created Montreal Lake. You think about the school, you think about the clinic, and the leadership, the past leadership that did so much work. During that time, they didn't really have too much. They wanted a claim, and they were turned down. That was it. Today we have researchers. Today we have lawyers. Today we have people, committees that can help us. Governance committee that can help us to go forward with our plans. I just want to mention this past year I had a great team. This past term I have a great team of real smart council. And because of that we have 3 claims. I want to say that that one of our claims is Waskesiu National Park. The other claim that we have is a timberland claim from Little Red. And the other claim that we have is cows and plows. And these claims have been forwarded to us today. These claims were fought by our past leaders, Kayas. This was the vision that our leaders had, Kayas. Now today, we have their relatives, we have their grandchildren that are moving along their vision. And that's what happens when we work together. That's what happens when we have together. I just want to also say, in closing, this is the first time we ever had a celebration. Just last year, we designated Montreal Lake as William Charles Day. This year, we didn't have, because of COVID, we didn't really have too much to plan. That was the first time ever. I know my colleagues at PBCN and Laurence, they always have their holiday February 11th. And I know that because I used to live in their communities. So I know that. So when I came home, and I realized, you know what, how come we don't have a holiday designated to us just like PBCN or Laurence? And right away, the vice chief said, let's delegate this day. It's not only a holiday, but let's do something about it this year. You know, this is historic. They've never done this before. This is historic because we have a group of people working together to make things possible for you, for the elders. The Magnolia and the elders, you know, they want to see things like this. They want to see positive things happening in your environment. It doesn't take anybody with master master's degrees or anything. It takes a community member. Like I told you guys before, this was spearheaded by one of your band members, Roger Ungo, who said, and from there we worked together. It's a seed that he planted, and it's a seed that's blossoming right now. Just like everything else, we plant seeds, just like that's how we plan. Because the last community, I just want to welcome PBCM Karen, my friend Karen Byrne, Chief Tammy, Brian Harlow, Vice Chief Joe, Bobby Cameron, and all of our dignitaries in the and thank you, Gerald. Thank you to the MC and the cameramen and all of you. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Sister. We also want to make a presentation.
That presentation is for you, by the way.
Chief, on behalf of our organizing committee, membership here at Montreal Cree Nation, we want to present you with the gift on behalf of our committee and the host of this event here, Senator Alan Burton Memorial School Jacket. So, the nice commitment was here. It's going to be with you in the Hi, let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Oh, they're beautiful jackets. When I get big, I'm going to get one just like that. Yeah. We'll just go down the line here. We'll make this simple. Yeah. If we go in order, this is going to be a beautiful one. Yeah. Yeah. So at this time, we'll call on Chief Karen Byrne of PBCM Cree Nation.
Hi, good afternoon. I welcome everybody. Greetings in Pita from Peter Valentine Cree Nation. A strong membership of 12,000 people, the biggest First Nation in Saskatchewan. And it's a great honor to be standing here as the Chief of Peter Valentine Cree Nation today. From my community of South End, I'm the first woman chief. Two of my family members, my great-grandfather and my great-uncle were chiefs before me. And I saw some chiefs coming into my home as a little girl growing up. And it inspired me, to help this. I worked for my First Nation for 25 years before I became a chief. My background is education. I was a teacher, a principal, an educational consultant. I'm also a mother, a grandmother, and serving my community all these years. But I guess one of the things is going into communities, helping how I can help. Talking to the young people, because you are important as a treaty person. You are important in your community. I encourage you, as you work with the chief, your counselors, your band administration, you get involved. Get involved in committees, get involved in boards, get involved in the programming that's happening in your community. Because that's one of the things as a treaty person, that is a promise, and we go by the promises. Every day we work towards that to make our First Nations a better First Nation. We want to leave it better than it was before we leave it. And everywhere that you are, there is a time and season. You are there. You're a servant for a season. And whatever you can do to continue to help one another and be kind. I think that's one of the things that I find nowadays as a leader. I've seen some really unkind people, but I have to continue doing my job. I can't take it personally. And I think that's one of the things that I have said in the assemblies that we've had with PUGC. This headdress is heavy, meaning that the responsibilities that we have as chiefs are very heavy. only so much we can do. And I encourage you to support your chiefs, support your counselors. You know, be there for them, pray for them, give them something to eat. But I'm really happy to be here. I was here this past summer at the Mona Rosa Treaty Days. You know, your hospitality in Montreal Lake has been always great food. I love eating traditional food, and I see there's some cooking in the back over here. So it's really good, you know, to continue to live that lifestyle, living off the land, because that's where we get our healing. Emphasize Chief for being here, Doyle, Rob, Sergeant, Mary, and all of those guys. But thank you for being here, and thank you everybody. Thank you. Like I said,
Thank you, Karen. Don't leave yet. I got a little gift for you. Wow, look at that. These medallions are the Treaty 6 Adhesion Medallion. And of course we are gifting them to the, I would say, regional chiefs of our First Nations for the North. And that being said, the importance of these medallions is who we are as a people. And she gets to take that home to her community and display it. So at this time, without further ado, I want to call a good friend of mine, Tammy Cook-Searson, Chief of the Lac La Ronge Indian Band. So with that, without further ado, Chief Cook-Searson.
Okay, thank you very much, my good friend. What's your name again? Gerald. Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you to AJ Felix for the prayer, and thank you to the Montreal Lake Cree Nation Chief Joyce McLeod, and also her council, to come and celebrate February 11, 1889, the day our treaty was signed. We call it Chief James Roberts Day, not Chief William Charles Day. So, and I also want to recognize all the leadership that's here. Thank you, Chief Joyce, Chief Karen, Grand Chief Brian Hardlock. We also have Vice Chief Smiley Tisani, Chief Bobby Cameron. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for visiting my dad today at the hospital in the National Community in La Ronge. And Councillor Eldon Anderson, or MLA Doyle Vermette, thank you for being here. I see RCMP Con Lara and our Treaty Commissioner Mary Halverson. So I think I'm saying it wrong. But thank you so much for though I know I see many community members here, so it's a real honor to be here to celebrate our adhesion to treaty. And I want to thank whoever that did the decorating. You can tell that you've done a lot of work, put a lot of effort into all the history. It's been 134 years since our treaty was signed. When we say treaty, we say Ipahamatawin. That's what our elders called it, Ipahamatawin. And that's what it's called in payment. And I've had the honor and the privilege to serve the Lac La Ronge Indian Band for the last 26 years. So I've been on council for 26 years, and 26 of that I've been chief for the Lac La Ronge Indian Band. So it's been a real honor to be given that honor and that opportunity to be able to serve the community. And when we serve the community, we represent all our community members, all the band members, and that's what we speak about when we speak. And you see all the chiefs here; they were chosen by the people, to represent the people, and it's a great honor to be able to be chosen to represent our community members. The national one, I've learned so much. I've learned from our elders. I've learned from other community members. And as I learned from and even going to where the treaty was signed, that treaty signing is one thing, but that's not exact. We're so much more than the signing. We have always been in this territory. We've been hunters, fishermen, trappers, gatherers. It's in our DNA. Our Cree language, we have to pass that on because we're losing our Cree language. Our young children here, our young people, we need to pass that Cree language, that Cree culture, the love of the land, trap line, that's what we call trap line, or the bush, and I wanted to present Chief Joyce a dictionary that we just launched in L'Orange. It's called the Colin Charles Dictionary, and it's the first TH dictionary. And we have it for sale. It's $40. It goes from Cree to English, English to Cree. And I wanted to give a copy to Chief Joyce and present it to her. But it's so important. The dictionary was already written by late Colin Charles. He passed away when he was 93 years old on June 11th. And that was in 2013, so it's been 10 years. And at his funeral, Keith Goulet was there. Keith Goulet was our MLA for 17 years. And he worked with late Colin Charles to make this dictionary. It was just a hard copy, so we didn't have it. It wasn't in a computer, it wasn't a digital copy. So it took Minnie Mackenzie, and she had a few helpers, to digitalize this book. So now we're able to provide this Cree language in the TH. And there's so many old Cree words in there. That's what's like, when you go somewhere, like this late elder Albert Ross used to always say, when you would get to somewhere, he would always say, "Niparang pasyon." That means you made a round trip. Niparang pasyon. And that's a really old, like our old Cree word. So it's really easy to read and understand. So hopefully, I'm hoping that it'll help us revitalize our languages even more, because there's been a lot of work done. And I also want to take this time to recognize Taryn Roberts over there in the back. He's been doing a lot of research, a lot of history. So he's Taryn giveaway, and he's been working with John Irvin from L'Orange. And John is one of our historians, and now Taryn's learning with John, so giving that our history. But what I've learned so far about our treaty and the treaty signing, it was signed. They didn't just sign it; they actually took time, and they prayed over the treaties. That's why it's called spirit and intent. They prayed. They asked for guidance. They asked for spiritual guidance on the treaties. And spirit and intent. And it was actually the archdeacon. So who's our bishop is here, Adam. And before it was the bishops or the archdeacons that would do the translation from English to Cree, or Cree to English. Not everyone spoke English like we do now. It was everybody spoke Cree. So at the time of the treaty signing, Chief James Roberts was there. He had some counselors there, and Chief William Charles was there, and he also had counselors there. And they talked about it because they knew they wanted to make sure that the future generations like us get stuff to live off the land. with the way that we've lived off the land, and the hunting, the fishing, the trapping, making sure that education was in there because they knew there'd be a new way of learning. And then the medicine clause, they had all these different, they had the agricultural benefit, the ammunition and twine, the treaty money, annuity, years ago, when the treaty was signed, with that $5, you could actually get all your supplies to go out on the land till springtime. But now it's $5, you can't get too much. But that was the spirit and intent of the treaty. So they deliberated over it. And that was but it's so important for us to learn our language and our history. And there's a lot of history that's been written. Like for us, it's more oral history. Just passing on that knowledge, but we still have it. But thank you so much for this invitation, and I'm really honored to be here today. And then after we signed the treaty, then in 1901, was that 1901? Peter Ballantyne. So it was the two chiefs signed the treaty, and then about, I don't know, Taryn would know this, 1901 or 1910? 1910? Oh, 1900 is when Peter Ballantyne broke out, formed his own band. So that's how we're the Woodland Cree chiefs. Not chiefs, but Woodland Cree people. We speak the TH dialect. There's N, so it all depends. So we can tell where we're from too. If Roger Ungo was to speak Cree to me and I didn't know him, I would know right away that he's from Montreal Lake. Because we sound this, you can tell where people are from, or if somebody's from Cumberland House, just by or somebody's from the west side or Beauval, like just by the way our language. But thank you so much for this great honor. We're really honored to be here on behalf of the Lac La Ronge Indian Band. I know I spoke long, but I felt it was important to share that bit of history and knowledge that I can pass on to you. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for being here. And thank you, Gerald, for being our MC. I know you don't need a microphone when you speak, but you're doing an excellent job. I met Gerald when I first started going to Little Red, and he was always my microphone because my voice was always down here. And I would just say, hey Gerald, can you make this announcement? And he would just, so there's always been you're still living in Little Red? Where are you going? All right, well thank you so much. Have a wonderful celebrations here. Thank you, Chief Joyce, again for this invitation. And I want to present you this dictionary. There's actually two parts, but I forgot that one book I had it. I was reading it, and then so I have one. I owe you one more. There's two books to this, so it's this one's English to Cree, and it's volume 2, and there's a picture of Keith Goulet and Colin Charles, and we had a celebration of Colin's family, and what an amazing night that we had. We had community members there. So here's a dictionary for you. If you still need to do it, you're going to get the sample. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. But at the same time, Chief Cook Searson, we have a nice gift for you and your community as well. And this jacket's a very traditional jacket. It comes from the far north. And it's called a Columbia jacket. One of the best brands made for sure. But as well, the medallion that is very important to your community as well. And I know it'll be hung up of importance to your community for the people to see. Yes. Oh, wow. Man, I can take pictures, speak, and jig all at the same time. Oh, yes. So I'm going to call up my good friend here, Roger Uncle Bird, who's got a few words, and I think it's important. So here we go.
Gerald can take pictures, Jane and Paolo sing that same time. So, thank you, Gerald. My reason for coming up here to say a few words is we have our 3 Woodland Cree chiefs here. We have Chief Karen Bird from PBCM, Chief Tammy Cook Searson from Lac La Ronge, and Chief Joyce Nadahal from right here in Montreal Lake. And my question, or maybe direction, I guess is the proper word, is this is an annual, we want to make this an annual 3 to 6 Woodland Cree Day gathering. And just like Woodland Cree gathering, each and every summer we gather, we want to rotate this event as well. So we want to take it to La Ronge, we want to take it to PBCN to host this day, so we can take turns hosting this event. So I'm going to leave it with the 3 fine ladies here to make that decision as to who will be the next host for this event. So maybe I'm out of line by doing this, but I think it's a worthwhile event for all our areas in the Woodland Cree to take turns hosting this event. To me, it's very important and it's historic. As you know, Chief William Charles, right to Chief Joyce Nadahal McLeod, it's Blanche Bert McDonald was the one that, and her team and organized that, and they did a fantastic job. And with Taryn, with our booths over there, our land-based program with Jared, Joe, and Larissa. Let's give them a round of applause, you guys. I think they did a fantastic job. I think this event alone, it's important for education. It's important for our young people. As some of the speakers said, language is important, and we need to retain and keep our language. We need to teach our young people how to speak our language. So, I just want to put that out there and just ask the 3 ladies here to make a decision at some point that, with the support of the Grand Council, support of the Federation, that we can make this an annual event. So, big said, and that's one. Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you. Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Uncle. That is very important to all our people. And I think that is a wonderful suggestion to bring this celebration to all our communities. That being said, I'm sure you guys will figure it all out in time and honor that way. So I'm going to call up the Prince Edward Grand Council Chief Brian Hartlott, Grand Chief. Good friend. Very much so, Brian Hartlott, everybody.
Hey, Gerald. Thank you, Gerald. I thank you. I keep it honest and to come Saskatchewan. I just want to acknowledge the folks for this very important historical event that we are celebrating. Now I acknowledge all of you here. We'll go back at it. Go back at square. I was sick. The children, students. I want to really do a special acknowledgement to your children. We always acknowledge you and say that you are future leaders, and you are. Okay? All right? School children. And why are we here today, children? Students. We're celebrating what? Absolutely. Treaty Adhesion to Treaty 6, 1889. Thank you very much. Future leader, right there. Okay? What it says over there, school children. You see that sign over there? As long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the rivers flow. What the elders said. AJ, and I thank you for that. AJ. Children, I challenge you. I challenge you, your teachers. You say that in Cree. Okay? Ask your teachers. Isko. As long as the sun shines. Isko. As long as the grass grows. Isko. As long as the rivers flow. You learn that. Children, students, you learn that from your teacher. That was the elders said. And that's not how long our treaties are. Okay? Just some information there. Children, very, very important. And I say again, listen to your parents. Listen to your grandparents. Listen to your teachers. You are, and I'll say it again, you are our future leaders. Okay? Dili na nasumat now. No tinanasumat na wala unagamot. I thank the elders. Samag CRCMP, red coat over here. I acknowledge you, part of the treaty. Special acknowledgement and thank you to the cooks. Got me not to go out. Can you get how about that applause for the cooks? Can you get Namoso Victor, Natao How, was staying in Namoso, little red lobster. Kakita get was staying, and the editing you up meta, Kakita the editing and you up meta. Kita kamiskat na, kinanas kumit namin. Kaya otis mo na sa tablet. Ano nga kaya tuningan niyo? Kita kamiskat na, gumakan kaya, gumakan na wala suwit mo, kakito. Kita kamiskat na. Kakito, sunta. Pumunta mo sa isaga. Kanan ka ko apat pa na. Kaya mo tsakita. Kaya mo sumpan na kung paano, kayo mas na, iwayo. Kita kami ko, kita wait sigo, kung kamawin. Ikaw tipigat sigot kapitan niya ng RTC Regional Director General, Rob Harvey, that represents the government of Canada and the treaty. Today, if you don't mind standing there, Rob, not to put you on the spot here, but stand up. Yeah, that's Rob Harvey, Regional Director General, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I don't do this, but I also want to acknowledge Sam Hardlock, that's in the crowd. I don't see him often in these celebrations, but thank you and hope. I thank you for being in the celebrations here today. A very, very, very special acknowledgement to that gentleman wearing the Kansas City Chiefs hat. Hey, all right. Thank you. So I think it's in the national. Nanasko, naging mommy na, ipiwitag na ko, kiniyata, kinanasko na. Kaya dito sa mga nanasko, kinanasko na man o imo tayo. Man o imo tayo, thank our Creator. Man to, what ikikasawi na ko. God bless you all. Man to, may nagkitasawi di takitih tayo na. Pumunta Prince of Grand Council, takso. Ikaw vice student at ang story. Ikaw sa hindi kaya itong general hindi.
Thank you very much, Chief. We have a gift for you as well. Oh yeah, looks good. And of course, importance of the 36 medallion. Come on, Eddie, you gotta be faster than that. All right, so let's, yeah. All right, we're gonna call on Senator Nolan Henderson to come on up here. And day's going as planned. Any more speeches increasing more than 1 hour, you're gonna be cut off at 59 minutes and 56 seconds. So, that being said, Nolan's got a little bit to talk to, but as well as we have an item that's sitting to the left of us. It's a beautiful story. I'm sure he's going to remind us what that is and how it came to be. So that.
Thank you. Next speaker, Mr. Martina Suma, the organizers, at the Saskatchewan, and I understand the teachers and the students, the principal has done such a small job of, and there's specific people that they should be naming. But putting this all together, all this information that's around us, so there's a lot of education, lots of information passed on to us, just from what we see. So thank you. Let's give a hand again for all those people that participated. What we say in the Southern Mountain Northeast on today, stay away that Mahanaga or Muta. We look at some stuff now, Muta have this drum. Experience Mahanoya, we commissioned it. We're going to have Flagstaff in speed. Kisipin is now, our speed. Nini to our first powwow, we brought in that time, and as well as the sweat lodges. And some of the specific things that we remember about the sweat lodges that took place down here at the lake. It was in fall, and there's 2 sweat lodges down there. And the observers sat around in the semicircles around those sweat lodges while the sweats were taking place. Because we had never seen that. We've never participated in those kinds of things before that. And I remember late Gene. And we were wondering, but what it was eagles. They flew from a couple tall spruce, and they came over, and they're I believe they were going this way. They were talking about Grenada, and they stayed up there while we were having the sweat. So, that's the first time that we know that Montreal Lake had done it publicly, and it was kind of an eye-opener for our people, including us, the leadership at that time. So, which Thomas Scouts when you look at ESD, there's strength there. And so, anyway, I just wanted to reflect on that. And this is at the time when this drum was made, and it's been with us since. And it's just been brought out just lately. And we're going to try and find a home for it, I understand. So that will be the first drum that was introduced to our Cree Nation at that time. So anyway, those are my comments. Now I'd like to thank all the table of dignitaries here with us, each one of you that we the time start now.
Thank you very much, Nolan. as such, we will do that. We will respect that drum, and we'll need to have a good sweat for it, and then we'll put it up for all our community members to see. That is wonderful. So this time we're going to do a presentation also to Nolan, Senator. And for the years of service to his own community, still does today. We want to thank you and honor you in a good way. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that artwork. Wow. Look at this. Definitely something for his office, to show the creativity in regards to the art that is before him. Canoe made out of birch, the way it should be. Oh yes, look at that. Right on. Thank you very much there, Senator. Smythe Tassani, Vice Chief, Athabasca Region. He's a good friend of mine who we've been working together for many, many years. We got to meet each other through sports and rec. And he and I has always been part of helping our kids right across our communities. And that's how we first started off. And I remember Smythe would coming in with his glasses and his shades, and I said, boy, this boy must be from the north. And that Colgate smile, and he still has it today. Oh yes. We developed a really good relationship to that, a good friendship, and it still continues today. And it's an honor to introduce my friend Smythe and PAGC Chief.
Thanks, Gerald. Those are people, friends that know me. My nickname is Smythe. My mom gave me that name since I was young, so a lot of friends know me by Smythe. My real name is Joseph, named after my dad, Joseph Tassani. And I'm from Treaty Territory. And I do want to acknowledge almost Jesus calls. Some people call him AJ for the pipe ceremony, and he's here. I do acknowledge him for the prayer as well. I do acknowledge our Senator Nolan, always advocating and supporting the leadership for a better tomorrow for our children. Continue to do that with humility and kindness. Also want to acknowledge the leadership that's here, our women chiefs that are here, very important. And they have a very important role in serving their communities. And also want to acknowledge Grand Chief and Chief Cameron, FSIN, Chief Rob Harvey with the federal government. Yeah, can you stand up again? Doyle, the RCMP, and Mary, the Treaty Commissioner, and our elder that goes to the community that helps us with prayer and that. Thank you very much. Also want to acknowledge the drum group that's here, the Iron Swing. Also want to acknowledge Frank for being here and always supporting and advocating for communities as well and working within the community. Roger, former chiefs and leadership that are here, the councillors, the elders and the children. And thank you very much. Do want to acknowledge the volunteers and people for organizing this event. It's very important that we continue to teach our children about the treaties. Also important is the elders and the treaty people that continue to support our young people, either being out on the land, hunting, trapping, fishing, whatever that may be, is very important. The best way to learn about your language is to be out there, to speak the language out on the land. And that's how you teach your children about the importance of treaty and the land. We have that right to be out there to hunt, fish, and trap, and to occupy our lands, to making sure that we can build our cabins, make our fires, and supporting our young people to be out there. So I acknowledge all the teachers that do that, not just within the classroom, but out there as well. It's very important. I have a 7-year-old that I want to teach,
and that is the best place for them to learn is being out there on the land. And I think these events are very important because it's education. We always say education is very important, and these events we start talking about the importance of treaty and how our ancestors had signed and made those agreements so our children continue to live off the land. So with that, I don't want to take too much of your time, but thank you for the invite to the leadership. I'm happy to be here to celebrate with you as we move forward into the next 100 years so we can create a better community, an inclusive community for our children. So with that, Masi Cho, thank you very much. And awesome MC, my friend Gerald is always MCing and he's always so funny. Thank you for that. Masi Cho.
Thank you very much, Smile. We also have a presentation for you, as well as a beautiful jacket from the community of Montreal Cree Nation. And of course, one of the more important gifts that we have.
I won't be long this afternoon, Reverend Pinigi, Marcicho, George. Ningan man to nas kumtin niyo isa gome glas. AJ, Kistuam, nas kumtin ipitwa taro squadron. Legis mosumo. Treaty, they say, treaty. Hunting, fishing, trapping, gathering are four main reasons why we have treaty. It's still alive and well here in Montreal Lake, La Ronge, further north, and in southern Saskatchewan. Treaty, inherent rights. Our chiefs of the day signed treaty based on those four reasons. To win. Our land alone will help us. Hunting, fishing, trapping, gathering. Living and surviving off the land. Our relationship with the land. We'll do anything we can to protect our land. Sam Hardlock. We'll do anything to protect our land. It means everything to us that these little babies have somewhere to live and a place to call home. A place where treaty can still be alive and well. To the Treaty 6A committee for the work you're doing in the monument and for that land across the lake to turn it into reserve status. Some of them include, of course, Chief Tammy Cook is on the committee, and OTC, Sheldon Krasowski, Mary Culbertson. Chief Tammy Cook, Angie Moransky, Billy Bird, Roger Bird, Mary Culbertson, our treaty commissioner, and our senator, Nolan Henderson, Abel Charles, Frank Roberts, our chair, Elvin Henderson, Simpson Nataha, Irma Murdoch, Donald Bird, and a few others. But at this time, I want to call these ladies up. Mary Culbertson, come stand here. And our three lady chiefs. This is very significant. This is the first time this has happened. This is very, very significant. And it takes a woman. The woman who lead our homes, who lead our communities, who tell us when what to do. And we listen. Just like Sammy listens to his wife. You've got to listen to your woman. Come over here, Culbertson. This is very important. These ladies did something very significant. And to the councillors that are here, Carol, Dino, our bishop, Adam Halkett, thank you, and our red coat that's here, thank you, and of course Doyle. I know Smythe said it already, but Chief Rob Harvey, thank you. Grand Chief Hardlock, you're a good man. You see these women, our woman, these ladies. The first time ever it was said already that the three Woodland Cree bands have women chiefs. Okay? And Mary Culbertson, the first time ever that we had a woman as a treaty commissioner. Round of applause for our woman. That's treaty right there. Treaty. Treaty woman leading our treaty activism and lobbying efforts at the FSIN and with the three bands. Thank you, ladies. You're all awesome leaders. Who else can I recognize? Oh, Gerald, we would like to see you dance a powwow here. Iron Sing, your beautiful music, man. You guys are awesome singers. I love joining your songs when I get a chance. On behalf of the FSI and our vice chiefs, Dutch Raw, Heather Bear, Ali Bear, and David Pratt. If David was here, he would jig for you guys, right in that very spot. He's such a good jigger. So we thank you for inviting us, for allowing us a few minutes, and for these babies that are running around, these young children. Nagatuke, Ustaya. Nagatuke. Take care of our children. Again, on behalf of the FSI and our organization, Dean, I see you earlier, you already gave me a jacket. Thank you, Dino. Appreciate it. Hi. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Steve. We do have a presentation for you. And of course, Trudy Six medallion to take home for your people to see as well. We thank you very much. All right, thank you very much, Chief. Hey, Georgie, how's it going? Man, this is a good friend of mine from the north. Many years ago, and he always looked at me. Who are you? It's Gerald Valentine. And you? Georgie. No last name. It was just straight Georgie. All right, at this time, let's move on. We're on time. Mascots, we're on time here. All right, so at this time, we're gonna call up our MLA before we get to Treaty Commissioner for comments and praise of that. The Churchill District. Oh, you and I are friends on Facebook. What? I got lots of friends here today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, and it was nice to be here last night to share the feast with the community, so I thank you for that, and always making me feel at home. It's an honor to be here with the three chiefs, all the dignitaries that are here. I don't want to take a lot of time, because I know we want to move on to the activities, the events, and that's important. But what I want to do is acknowledge is it's funny how you talk about the Woodland Cree, and the celebrations, the pride, the young generation that's here. I'm a Métis man, very proud. My grandfather taught us to be proud of who we are. We laugh at ours and we use jokes and humor just like you, as Woodland Cree do. I find it amazing how we can laugh. To our young people, remember, use your laughter. We go through rough times. I think about my grandchildren. I just want to share a quick little bit with you about the Woodland Cree. Creator has gifted me. He's gifted me with many grandchildren, chapans, and they all now, I'm not laughing about the Montreal Indian Band, Montreal Lake Cree Nation, Peter Valley Cree Nation. So my Métis blood is mixed very solid with First Nations, the Woodland Cree, and I'm proud of that. And I say to my grandchildren, be proud of your culture, learn your culture, make sure. So I want to thank the chiefs, chief and councils, and the leadership, FSI and KGC, for fighting to keep my grandchildren, their inherited rights, their treaty rights. It's important when you talk about that. And I listen, and I watch how important it is. You have to protect those rights, and I thank you for protecting rights for my grandchildren and my children that will come before the next generation. I think that's so important. So just remember, we're here to honor signing of the treaty, but we must hold governments accountable, all governments accountable.
That's so important to keep that. I just want to acknowledge our elder for their prayer and the leading of everything that they've done, the drum group. I don't want to take more time with this, but I don't want to miss anyone, those caterers, our MCs. You guys do a great job, you always do. And you always make me feel like when I come here, I'm at home, and I appreciate that. But I've learned something from a gentleman for years. When he was a principal, when he was, I think, even a teacher, I knew him. And I watched how he moved up, and I watched how passionate and caring he was. And I normally don't do this to point out an individual, but I'm going to, just as a Métis person, not as an MLA, just as a Métis person. And I've watched this gentleman become chief. He's moved along, and he's done. He's always advocated. I just see nothing but compassion for kids, for the community, for everyone, wherever I've seen him. And I have a lot of respect for him. And again, last night I sat with him and I watched him and listened to him about just talking, sharing a little bit about my grandkids and being connected the way he is to, you know, that they are connected and they're inherited, they're treated right, and that they have that right. And it's just watching how it needs to be protected. So I just want to say thank you for inviting me and making me feel a part of the community, as you always do, to the chiefs, council, to everyone. All those organizers, keep doing what you're doing. It's so important. So with that, I'm going to ask Senator Nolan Henderson, please come up here. You've always earned a lot of respect, I just want to say. As you know, this is important because it binds. If you take the screen, and you know it's just a screen you can break. But if you weave it together, and we're all together, it keeps us solid as family. So I just want to give that to you as a keepsake. I just want you to know that that's from me as a Métis to show how tight we can be.
Wow. Before I don't take off yet, we've got a monetary gift for you as well. And these jackets are so beautiful. Oh, it fits him like, wow, man. Yeah, next year's snow. That is beautiful. Nicely done, guys. At this time, we're going to call on Regional Director General, Head Office for Indian Northern Affairs, Mr. Rob Harvey, who's going to be my future friend. Pretty soon, by the end of the day, we'll be calling each other Nistas, my brother, okay? So with that, Rob Harvey.
Yeah, we can start being friends right now. Wait for the future. Okay, there we go. Thank you so much, and just want to start off. I just want to thank the elder for the opening prayers and just acknowledge some of the comments from the elder about the partnership of treaty rates, and I do acknowledge in a lot of places within our departments we need to do a little more listening and work a little closer with the First Nation communities and moving forward in respect to the treaties. I want to thank the drummers for their work today. I want to thank the three chiefs for inviting me here today. It's been a tremendous honor. We had an opportunity to tour the school with the chief and some of the council from and the principal from Montreal Lake Cree. Absolutely love the opportunity to see the kids being involved. Love to see the kids the room back there, right, for some of the moose was being worked on and some of the traditional work. I think that's such a tremendous thing to see, and I hope that just keeps going, right. I acknowledge the history, which I think it's great for all the kids to see and all the community to see again, right. I got a little tie to Montreal Lake. I had a tremendous opportunity when I started with the department many years ago to work alongside one of the former chiefs, Mr. Roy Burt, was RDG for our department at the time. I worked for him many years and got an opportunity to learn from him. So I'm hoping I'm carrying on a little bit of that as I come to Montreal Lake today. And just hope you guys have a great week, great weekend here, the celebration. And I think we need to see more of this throughout Canada and throughout Saskatchewan. So thank you so much and have a great few days here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. Don't go away. We've got a pretty nice monetary gift for you as well. All right, thank you very much, Rob. And of course, we always try to save the best for last. You know, it's always important to give everyone an opportunity, especially with our celebration here today with the Treaty 6 adhesion. I'd like to call up our Treaty Commissioner, being the first woman for her position as well. It's really, really important. And we all love that. Did you well job that you do. So with that, here you go, Mary.
Good afternoon, my name is Mary Culbertson. I'm a Musqueam from Kizikus First Nation in Treaty 4. And I used to be a lawyer until I became Treaty Commissioner. I'd like to thank the community for having this beautiful day, for your leadership for inviting us to come and share this wonderful event, and everyone in this community for participating. Right? It's packed in here, and the school is involved, the kids are involved. It's so amazing to see, because this is an example of what a treaty day should look like. I was just texting my chief from Kizikus and sending him pictures. And I said, you know, our adhesion is September 5th, 1875. I said, we should do this same thing. But as a treaty commissioner, I can't go and help my own band. So, you know, I just tell whoever around some of the ideas and then we can do them. And this is impressive, right? I remember when we did the 1889 130th year, 4 years ago. And it was over there, and there was a big storm that came, right? It was on the lake. And late Harold Johnson was still with us at that time. And one of the books he wrote, Peace in Good Order, I just finished reading it last week. And I pick it up now and then. And he was so eloquent in how he told the story so plainly about the relationship between First Nations and the Crown and what was expected at treaty, and how we as First Nations were supposed to have that relationship for as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the rivers flow. But right away it changed, and he talked about the justice system and all of these systems that are there. That meant the residential school, the criminal justice system, even family law courts. Those aren't our ways. In Treaty 4, when my ancestors entered into treaty, they wanted us to have the cunning of the white man. That meant all education a white man can have, to be doctors, to be lawyers, to be astronauts. But the Canadian government does not acknowledge that as a treaty right. They acknowledge we have a treaty right in elementary school or high school, but not in post-secondary education. They say it's policy, and lots of people don't know that. When I was in law school, my band couldn't pay because they don't get enough money to pay for a lawyer to go to school. So I had to wait a while, and I kept working. And when they had that money, they were putting away for 2 years so they could help me pay tuition. Right? Because the tuition that I had to pay is twice as much as a regular university degree. Right? So those provisions aren't there. Those treaty promises that our people understood were ignored because they take it only by the written. And then they make policies around it to make it smaller and smaller and smaller. So when today when we see problems with our prescriptions, with our health services, it's all because it was made smaller and smaller. And that's why we have all the people who came before us to advocate on what the oral history, the negotiations and the spirit and intent was supposed to be. And that's why we have things like our tribal councils, our FSI, and you have your chiefs, right? They have to be home in the communities here looking after everyone and dealing with the problems here, but then they still have to step off and go deal with rights. And it's very hard to keep your head focused on advocating for your treaty rights and making sure your people's treaty rights are fulfilled when we're dealing with those things in our communities that broken treaties cause. Right? Addictions, children in care, mental health. All of those things, the problems we have are all connected to these systems. And it's our duty as recipients of treaty, our younger generations, is to try and make healthy communities, to be healthy examples and to be good leaders. Right? So when Chief Karen said this headdress is heavy, that's what that means. There's so much responsibility on them. So much. So when everyone comes and supports and listens to everyone talking, those are all teachings, right? You're going to learn from all these examples. When I was a little girl, there was no treaty commissioners that were women. Right? I didn't look around and see a woman treaty commissioner or a First Nations one, or to look at and think I could be that one day. Because I only ever thought it was white men, because it was. It was only old white men. Sorry, Rob, I don't mean you. I like to tease our RDG, right? One time we were at a meeting in Ottawa, and I said, I don't want to sit beside him. And I said, he's an Indian agent. And he looked to me, what about you? And one of the chiefs said, okay, now, you go sit over there. But we were just teasing each other, eh? There used to be one department, right? And Rob had to deal with the rights issues, the service issues, all in one. And when they split Indian Affairs into two departments, one to deal with rights, which is CERNAC, and the other one to deal with services. And that's what Rob's the head of our region, right? Look after the entire region. And so when we see services, that's our treaties being implemented. And we have to have our politicians who argue and push and push and push to make sure our treaties are going to be implemented to the spirit and intent, what was fully believed. So when they keep doing their jobs, one day we'll have that recognition that we have a treaty right to post-secondary education, that our lawyers, our doctors, people who want to be astronauts are fully supported through funding, that our bands don't have wait lists, or people don't even bother applying because they know they're not going to get it. And I even heard my own sister say that all the time. Why should I bother? I'm not going to get it. Because she knows there's not enough money. Because she knows how long the wait lists are. So she's there trying to make sure her kids finish school. And as young people, I didn't realize this when I was younger. You know, I would skip school. I'd run around, be that bad teenager. When I was skipping school, I was breaking my ancestors' hearts because they wanted us to have an education. They wanted us to know the coming of the white man. That's why it's important to go to school. Our ancestors wanted that for us. But it's important and very essential to our foundation and existence going forward that we remain and remember who we are. That means talking our languages, relearning our languages, knowing if we're Cree, Soto, Anishinaabe, Lakota. When we learn those things and remember who we are, that's keeping our part of the treaty promise. And when people see the RCMP here at events, they were part of the treaties. The Northwest Mounted Police was created to enforce treaty law. And now we see that relationship very different. And so it's important to know those histories, for the RCMP to be taught those histories in their training academies. You are here to protect the Indians, to ensure the Indians would not be bothered by settlers. And the Indian is the word I use when I talk about treaties, because that's what's in the historical text. And today we call ourselves by many names, like Neaham, Nehioak, Dene Sunem, because those were our traditional names for ourselves. So I'm very excited to see all the work that you guys have done and how you're going to keep going. Because you don't see this everywhere. But since I became Treaty Commissioner 5 years ago, you see which communities are really working on treaties. And I know the Woodland Cree are one of those communities, because you're all Woodland Cree. But you're working together to uphold your treaties, to commemorate it, and to have education. Because I don't see days like this happening in places in the South. And I'll close with this. We're there through our archives. Anyone want jobs when they come to the city for school? We have summer employment and mentorship, right, Rob Harvey? Anyway, Rob's going to make sure that we get a good program again this year. I just love teasing that guy. So, remember that you have a treaty commission. Going forward, our chiefs make decisions that say we will never have a non-Indigenous person as a treaty commissioner again. Because they don't understand. They don't. Because they don't understand their languages. They don't understand the spirit and intent of spirituality in that pipe. And it's up to us to educate them to understand. And that's why we exist. To educate the public, to educate our own communities about their histories, about their treaties. And that's what we're there for. So there's Angie and Sage Morasti. They're both from Peter Valentine Cree Nation. Sheldon Krasowski, he wrote the book No Surrender. He's here, and those are part of the people that work with us. So in my time, I've made sure we've been trying to stay in our communities, so people know in our nations that OTC belongs to them. OTC belongs to our First Nations. Someone who used to work at treaty governance told me, you know what I was told 20 years ago? I was in treaty governance, and I used to ask, well, how come we're not working with OTC? How come we're not working with the treaty commissioners? And she said, and I was told, because that's for white people. And she said, I've seen that conversation turn around now. And now our people are taking it back and saying, they serve us. They come to our communities. So make sure that you commemorate treaty every year. Support your leadership. They have hard jobs. And we see all too often all the Facebook warriors, social media warriors. That's not healthy. We got to be good examples for our kids. All these kids in here, for each other, for other leaders. And we have to support one another, because we are not going to get ahead by ourselves one at a time. Everybody has to move together. Miigwech, I thank you so much for inviting us here.
Thank you very much, Mary. We do have a beautiful gift for you as well. And Carol and Dean are going to present that to you. Got cameras, it was a good time. Yeah. Of course, our Women's Commission, our treaties. Yeah, very well. So that being said, I want to call up Roger here. He's got a few words.
Thank you once again, Gerald. To our dignitaries, our visiting chiefs, our leadership, and our guests, our members that are out there, our own membership that's here. Just want to thank you guys for listening to our dignitaries and our speakers. But I want you to take your pens out and mark this date down, August 7th to 11th, 2023, this coming year. We're going to host our annual Mollanosa Cultural Days in Mollanosa. So that's August 7th to 11th. And I want to ask our Treaty Commissioner to book one of those days aside and attend our event, August 7th to 11th, and to our dignitaries as well, to Grand Chief Hardlock, Grand Chief Cameron, to the visiting chiefs, Chief Karen Bird, Chief Tammy Cook Searson. So Molinose and Culture Days will be August 7th to 11th. Let's only extend the invitation now, so because everybody gets busy. But August, it should be nice and warm, so we want to book those days aside for our annual event. So with that, Naskaman, there's a couple people that I haven't spoken, and I know maybe I'm just going on a line here, but I'd like to ask our bishop to come and say a few words as well, Bishop Adam Halkett. And last but not least, we have Corporal Leroy that's here as well. We want to ask him to say a few words as well. So if I can ask Bishop Adam Halkett to say a few words as well. So, sorry, Gerald.
Awesome, good to know.
I give thanks for this gathering that we gather in Treaty territory. We remember a very important for our children and grandchildren to be taught and to be told about it, that they are those promises are also made to them. So that the chief spoke highly of our land and also and I read a little bit of the art seeking that was part of that negotiation. And I know the chiefs must have pressured him to visit Ottawa, and so to make that city happen. And I know that that's a good thing. That's why we have clergy, but I'm also building bridges in the churches, because it was a church that tried to ban our traditional way of life, the drum beat, the smudging. And so when I go to Saskatchewan, that's when elders called me to say that we want to sit in a circle while you're in the center, but before all this we want to have a smudge. And they said, yes, I am the bishop of the day, so let's do that. And so we've been doing those things. And this is happening across Canada now. It's getting to be recognized. The drum beat, and also the smudging. So I'm very honored to be here to stand with all of you because we are Treaty people. But also the language. Chief Tammy spoke on that, and also as our leaders spoke, their mother tongue. And so we need to get back to that. We need to get back to those things, and also the elders that we have. You have to care for them, because those are the history. They have a lot of knowledge, mistakes, and I know that they'll share that with you. And so I just give thanks for these few minutes that I could say thank you to all the leadership that came, and also a celebration to continue for the hard work that Ungo and everyone else in the community does, and be a part of that Isto, because I know that this is where the Creator put us. And so we need to acknowledge that. Especially the visiting nations that come into Canada. We do teach it. I was in Toronto. I was shopping in Toronto, and I met this Filipino lady, real nice young lady, and she said, do you have a treaty status? And I said, yeah. And she asked me for my card, and I gave her my card. But it was one of those cards that had expired. And she said, your card hasn't expired, but your treaty isn't expired, she said. And so she allowed me to shop in Toronto. Even in, we gather in Niagara Falls every year, so that's where I do a little bit of shopping when I get to go. So those are very important things to remember, that you are treaty. You start with history, Treaty 6, and treaties run right across Canada, so you stay at Vietnam also. So I'm not going to thank you all. I'm just going to God bless you. So I got you.
Thank you very much, Bishop. But before we go, we got a monetary gift for you as well. I know Bishop Adam and I have been working together closely for the past couple of years in regards to bridging our ceremonies together. He's asked me numerous times to come on to the church PA here in Montreal Lake to come and do the smudging part. And barely calls me, he'll just show up in my office unexpectedly, and it's always good to see him that way, eh? And that's exactly what he does. He speaks the truth in regards to bridging that part for our lifestyles, our ceremonies, our prayers. And he's working really hard at that. I remember 30 years ago, when I first, me and boys brought our drum to our community of Little Red, and Adam and I didn't see eye to eye. But through persistence and education and understanding, he and I have built that relationship over the years to bridge this so that we could all share in harmony. And he's worked really hard at that, and I commend him on that. He's always been a good friend of mine all these years to work with each other in that way. And you know what, it means a lot to me just as well. So with that being said, we want to go down to the list here to RCMP Corporal. Lorette, come on this way, my friend. Don't arrest me, I got a warrant. Yeah. I haven't fleed from him yet, but I think it's going to happen tonight, so as soon as he takes off his red coat, he'll probably chase me down and straighten me out. Yeah. Yeah. And we've got a small announcement afterwards. We want to get the TGA together and do a picture, but we'll mention more about that in a bit.
Hello, I'm Corporal Larod. I'm with the RCMP in Prince Albert. Our unit is in Indigenous Policing Services, so I'm on here on behalf of the Lost Issue and Montreal Lake detachments. They, I believe, and it's helping them out, that probably because they can't pick the surgeons anymore. Make sure they hear about that. We all grow and get older. I'd like to say thank you for the invitation. And I've been Treaty 4, but I've always probably done my work here in Treaty 6. And I've actually probably been here for one of these celebrations years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago. And as well as some other occasions here in Montreal Lake as well. But I always feel very welcome here. In fact, I know that some of the really people here, chief and everybody, all the chiefs I've met, pretty much through my service. So I've got to know them very well, and it's great to see everybody here for this little celebration. So I guess for the RCMP, it's a little bit of a surprise that they didn't tell me I have to say anything, so I'll keep this short. So, but thank you, and we're always here. Our door's always open, talk to us, and we'll probably be always welcome to hear your questions and hear what's needed and what's happening in the community.
Thank you very much, Corporal. The Wasatute Department, we have a nice gift for you as well. Take home to your home fire. At this time, I'm going to call up Eldon to come help me out here. We're going to do, and Chief Bobby, Chief Cameron of the FSIN, we're going to gather the TGA group together to do a picture, a family picture. And the work that's being done behind that is very, very excruciating, very hard working and commitment. And the committee who sits on this TGA, please come on up here. We want to get you up here and we'll do a group photo. Yeah. And we're going to get Bobby and Alden just to say a few words in regards to that and what it is that you're doing. So that way it can be properly explained. Once we're done that, we're going to call up Elder here to come on and do our closing prayer. We got protocol, we got an Eagle staff here, we got the flags. We need to put the flags down. Yeah, and then we'll do it in a good way, in a proper way as protocol. As to that, we do have Eldon here to say a few words.
Thank you, Gerald. We're just going to wrap this up with acknowledging our Treaty 6 Adhesion Committee. And they're made up of Lac La Ronge and Montreal Lake and Peter Valentine Cree Nation, Office of the Treaty Commissioner. So we're going to do a group photo. That's going to go into the T6A book. So we have some names here that we're going to ask people to come up here so we can do the group photo.
So I'd like to call up Eldon, who's the chair of the committee, Cheese, Tammy Cook-Searson, Mary Culbertson, Roger Bird, Frank Roberts, Senator Nolan, Simpson Nate Tahoe, Rima Murdoch, Ariel Charles, Billy Bird, Don Bird, Angie Marasti. And we'll get the Chief Hardlock and Chief Cameron and the RCP to take pictures, group pictures. So we'll get you guys up in the front over here, guys. Yeah. We'll put you right in the middle here.